much, Mr. Ifafa, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Are you one of those who are being sponsored to recall Senator Akpoti Dagan?
We are not being sponsored. That's a very wrong statement. We are not being sponsored by anyone.
So, because there are those who spoke on camera who said they were being asked to come and engage in an empowerment scheme, but it turned out to be that they are now being asked to gather signature or put their signature for Senator Natasha Akpoti Dagan's recall.
That is not a statement of fact. You see, Barrister Natasha Akpoti is known for pushing the wrong narration. Let me establish how she came on board. She contested with Engineer Abubakar Ohere, and she lost that election. And one way or the other, she got it through the court, and no one can contest that. And the expectation about her was very high. But today, she has not done anything different or anything new. To our dismay, what we see her do in the National Assembly is engaging in altercation and against constituted authority. And we as a people of Kogi Central, we have high pedigree. So, and she has not represented the character we are made of. So this is how...
What local government are you from in Kogi Central?
I'm from Ajakuta local government.
You are from Ajakuta. Yes. And Ajakuta is interestingly not so far from Okene,
yes,
where Senator Akpoti Dagan is from.
Yes.
So she's your sister?
She's my sister.
Would you consider her as a performing senator?
She has not performed.
In what sense?
You see, we expect her to have vital contribution in the National Assembly. So far, so good. The issue of tax reform, she didn't have any contribution on it. The policies of the government that is not favoring people, she didn't have any contribution. What we see her do is chasing a shadow, sexual harassment issues, and this is not what we expect from her.
What, did you witness the empowerment program she did in December, January? Did you witness it? Did you see it?
I witnessed that empowerment, though I have my reservation about that.
Well, you don't like it?
She has not done anything new.
No, I'm asking you specifically about the empowerment program. You don't like the empowerment program that she did.
No, I
for
see
our
that
constituents.
I'm not saying so. I have my.
But it's a good thing about empowering our people.
It's a good thing, but
food,
we expect something.
The skills acquisition and some of the materials given to.
Most of those things are propaganda, to be honest. Because after the empowerment, we start hearing all sorts of news that they were fake. All those things were brought to the camera, and at the end of it, they did not share it to the people. These are the rumors all around, and there was serious heat about that.
But you're a member of the APC, right?
No.
You're a member of the PDP?
I'm not a member of the PDP.
What party do you belong?
Is that question relevant in this?
I'm asking you a question. I mean,
no, I just want to know how is it relevant to the...
It's relevant because I determine what is relevant to the conversation. We invited you for this conversation.
I know. I'm only curious to know why you're asking.
I'm asking because if you say you're a constituent member,
yes,
you're a registered member, a voter in of Ajakuta,
yes,
in Kogi Central,
yes,
probably at some point you might have participated in some political activities.
Yes.
Perhaps the reason why you do not appreciate Senator Natasha Akpoti Dagan's empowerment efforts.
No, that is not the reason. You see, I'm a realist and a patriotic citizen of this country. I will not discredit her on any ground. I'll tell you what is practical, what we experienced with her in Kogi Central. She only faked those empowerment.
So you don't think that Senator Natasha is performed at all?
She has not performed.
What were your expectations?
Our expectations were very high considering her manifestos. She promised heaven and earth. Today she has not done any of that.
You are an Ajakuta man.
Yes.
Are you privy to the motion she moved on Ajakuta State Company?
Is for her interest. Honestly.
How?
You see, Mr. Shem, Natasha has shifted her focus. She's been distracted with some personal interest in the National Assembly.
What are these interests? Because I'd like to know.
Okay.
If she moved a motion that the situation surrounding Ajakuta State Company should be investigated, how is that a personal...
Same person said that we are not staff in the Ajakuta State Company. Whereas there are over thousands of staff there. Those people, if the federal government would have scrapped that, they would have lost their job. So such a person, I think she has other motives behind those bills. What she promised us is not what she's giving us. And why? I think we should even focus on why we are recalling her.
So why are you recalling her?
I think that should be the major thing. We are recalling her because, in fact, she has. Are you with me?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay, we are recalling her because she has bring disrepute to us as a Kogi State Central Senatorial District. We as a people, we have respect for constituted authority. And what we see her doing today at the National Assembly is against our doctrines and teachings. So this is why we decided to recall her, let her come back home, so that our elders can teach her some.
Do you have anybody to replace her if you want her if you want her recalled?
That question is coming too early. The process.
So you don't have any option. You just want her out of the Senate.
We have other good people, but I'm always saying the question is coming too early for now. We are focusing on how to make sure this recall exercise is being successful. Then when we get to the bridge of who is going to replace her, we'll get it right.
So you said that she is against and not listening to constitutional authority.
Yes.
So your judgment of wanting to recall her is based on what transpired between her and Senator Godswill Akpabio?
Not just that. We think she has an empty ego. Empty ego in the sense that she lacks self-awareness. She has some a self-inflated sense of importance. The issue is so simple. Apologize to the Senate, change your seat. She is against the rule. The Senate is guided by rules and regulations. She refused to apologize because of her ego. So we cannot continue.
When we wonder that as consequence of Kogi Central, if your senator is facing this kind of situation, you will support her, especially because now she is a woman.
If she would have come back to us, till this moment we are talking, she has not come to organize any town hall meeting to tell us that this is what has transpired, what are your contributions. We have allies. We have our contribution. We advise her, tell her, or she will tell us reason why she doesn't want to apologize.
Why were some of those who were donating or putting their signatures being given money?
That is not true. You see, that Natasha and her group, Senator Natasha and her group, has a way of pushing the wrong narration.
But those who said they took money, they gave them money at this instance. You did not collect money. Is that what you're saying?
There was nothing like that. This video is fictitious. We don't know where it emanates from. Look, we have series of...
This is the same form that people was... you don't know any of these people?
I don't know them.
You don't know the signature, the same signature and the petition that was submitted to
INEC? Have you seen the petition submitted to the INEC? How will you say these are the same No,
but you collect a signature in a form.
Yes.
Your name, your voters' details, and your signature. Is
the original videos of those people who come out with enthusiastic to append their signature are there. This is a very fictitious...
Do you think this is going to be successful?
Yes.
This recall?
Very well. It's going to be successful because our people are desperately willing to pursue this to the end. They are so disappointed.
This is not the first time a Kogi senator they are moved to recall his Kogi senator. Senator Dino Melaye faced the same thing.
This is a different case. This is a different case. You see, down to the grassroots, even the non-elite among us, they have their ears to the radios. They are well informed about the attitude and gross misconduct of Senator Natasha. And at the end of it all, we are going to be helping Senator Natasha. Because when we recall her back, she will have the time to face her sexual allegation or her sexual harassment issue in the court. But we just want her to live there. Let someone who can represent us credibly should come.
But the people voted for her.
Yes, and she has disappointed people. The same people are recalling her. I voted for her. I did.
How many signatures were you able to collect?
Over 250,000 signatures. And that is constitutional requirement. So
over 200,000.
250,000.
Over 250,000 yes. Out of the over 400,000.
Yes.
Are you aware of how many people who voted in that election, that central district?
No, I can't have. I'm not aware of that.
It's just about 40-something thousand.
I can't recall.
It's about 40-something thousand.
Okay.
Are you curious that if 40-something thousand people voted and you have 200-something thousand people recalling her, does it raise any...
you see, this time around, people take it so personal. because we as a people, we have, as Avelia said, we have high pedigree, and we don't appreciate when any of us is bringing disrepute to the land. So this is why everybody is out. And let me also tell you, there was high sensitization. We use every available means and media outlets to sensitize our people, so they are well informed about her gross misconduct. And referencing to her track record before now, she has, one way or the other, did all of this in the local politics. And we thought it's because of internal issues, how we have blackmailed Yabelu and others. So when she now takes same issue to the National Assembly, so we understand that, okay, it's of no good for us. So this is how we come to realization that we have to recall her.
A lot of allegations against Senator Akpabio, and one of those things that you've said is that he withdrew your security, but he's not the IG, he's not the one in charge of police, he's not the one in charge of security.
It was one of the conditions of my attached to my recall. There are about 6 of them. The first is I should be suspended for 6 months. Second is the window of pardon if I tender a written apology. The third, I think, was I shouldn't be seen near the vicinity of the National Assembly. Then fourth is my staff should their salaries and allowances should not be paid. That my salary should not. And then last is also my security should be recalled, and the other is I should cease to present myself as a senator nationally and internationally. So yeah, he did mention that, and actually my security was recalled. The next day, 2 days after, my security was recalled.
So you think he's behind, even though it doesn't look like he's the one who apportioned security officers?
Well, whatever is being determined on the floor of the chambers is just like a law. It's binding. So he probably instructed the clerk of the National Assembly to communicate with the Inspector General of Police office, and they did recall my security 2 days after my suspension.
I'd like to know, why did you raise the issue of didn't you raise the issue of sexual harassment on the floor?
How do you mean? I should have just mentioned it on the floor?
I'm asking because, the issue of your seat was the contention when that altercation happened. But when you went on television, you raised the issue of sexual harassment. So I'm just curious, though, why didn't you raise it on the floor?
Okay, Sharon, I had said I didn't want to go in details into the sexual harassment part because, there's been a whole lot of conversation, but I will touch a bit of it. The issue of my seat, me refusing to move to the seat, was born because I perceived that as a result of the malice I have suffered from the Senate President, one of many that I've suffered over the past 1 year. And I knew that it was coming from a point of anger and hate from the Senate President. And he decided to move me from my seat in order to kill my visibility. He moved me to a far corner near where the chamber staff sat, and that place the cameras hardly get there. So I knew that it was a tactic that he was deploying to kill my visibility in chambers. And I know that he did not follow the normal process because I ought to have been notified by the clerk of the National Assembly. Now, before where I sat, where used to be my seat in these new chambers, we were all notified 4 days before then. And I do have the notification where it's like a little chat and every senator's name is written in their boxes. So you get to see your allocated seat. And then senators are given a chance to argue and say, you know what, I don't want to sit here, move me to this place. They could have one reason or the other, and they were given a chance to argue. I wasn't even given a chance. I wasn't even notified.
Thereabout that seats were changed.
Well,
so you were not the only one.
If there are 10 of us that our seats were changed, I was the one that was moved to the worst part, while others were moved to my own seat, which was they progressed while I regressed in position. Do you understand? So I believe that I was the main target, while others were just made to seem as if we were filling in seats. Now, the excuse he gave, or they were saying, was that because Senator Ned Nwoko and someone else decamped. Senator Ned Nwoko sat right in the very front. If they are moving me to Senator Ned Nwoko's seat, that's fine. I mean, if they're saying they want to fill in the vacant seat, so move me right up front. I don't mind there. But why do you have of everybody? Why are you moving me there? And let me say this. I did mention that there is nothing that happens or is being spoken of, even in whispers, that you don't get to know. I already heard 2 days before that the Senate president complained to some senators that each time he walks through, because I was sitting by the aisle, the first seat at the top aisle near the door, that each time he walks through and he passes that, my presence angers him. He has complained about that. He had even told some people that I gave him the bad eye each time he walked past, and sometimes I don't even stand to honor him.
Why don't you
and let me say this. Since I resumed as a senator, I always observed and respected the protocol according to the Senate rules, and I always stood. And you will have still lots of pictures I stood. The only 2 times I refused to stand were the 5th and the 6th of March, which was when I already moved to my new seat. These were the only 2 times, and that was out of protest. I said, you know what? We already had the heated conversation and a heated problem, and I did not stand to usher him in. I didn't join the procession in ushering him in on the 5th and the 6th after I have moved to that seat. But while I was sitting there, I always stood to observe the procession. So, but basically, what some people thought that, oh, she was just rude. She didn't want to, she broke the Senate rule. She should have just moved to the seat according to that. But I knew that that was an attack, a further attack of many others that I have faced in a continuous manner. And that was why I refused to move, because I knew it was born out of malice. I perceived the Senate president was hiding under the Senate rules to exercise his vendetta on me.
But you have a family relationship. Did you ever approach him to say you didn't like what was going on?
Earlier point, yes, I did. That was last year. That was at the earlier part of, I said I didn't want to go specifically into that. But when the whole relationship started, when I started rejecting the advances, and I experienced the hostility, I did mention a number of times to my husband, who would then speak to him. And there was a time we were also in London last year, January 12th. We visited him. His wife was there. And my husband was like, oh, why is it that you were a bit unfriendly to her and that she's complained? And then he right there, he was like, oh, why are you always reporting me to your husband? Why don't you tell me directly? And then when we resumed chambers, and the next time I saw him, maybe not allowing my emotions or something, and I was like, oh, dear SP, I've tried to present this a number of times. Why don't you allow me? He goes, Natasha, so you now see that no matter how many times you report to your husband, you have to meet with me. This is my space. Talk to me, blah, 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 make me happy and all of that. So I don't want to go into this. But the point is, I have a number of times met with people, even some senators.
Did you regret telling your husband about the sexual harassment when it started?
No, I didn't regret not telling him. The first thing is, a lot of women find it very difficult to speak about sexual harassment. Even women who are raped, many of them don't speak about it, and that's the worst part of it. Because there's a burden of shame that comes with speaking of sexual harassment, especially in this part of the world whereby it's a taboo for women to speak about any violation of her body or interests, you understand? As a society, we have not developed to a point whereby certain conversations are allowed. And I think probably it doesn't mean I don't trust my husband, but I think I was looking at preserving the friendship between himself and the Senate president. I didn't want to
relationship is totally collapsed right now.
Well, I think as for me, I don't think I would want to maintain any friendship with a person who does not respect boundaries, and I don't think we would have.
They're claiming that there are no evidence, no shred of evidence that you can prove that Akpabio harassed you sexually.
Is this the court?
No, not a court.
Exactly.
It's
So,
just a television
no,
conversation.
let's leave that part.
And I come back to the fact that you're a lawyer.
Yes, let's leave that part. At the right time, I will prevent at the right time and in the right space, I will present the evidence that I have. But let me say this. While I was illegally suspended, I was not given a chance for the matter to be investigated. And then the committee that was set up, which was headed by Senator Neda Emaswen, they did not invite me. The first time...
Remember, in this very studio, I accused Akpabio of one of the people who come together to say that I was out of the Senate. Because when the 10th Senate, when I won election to the 10th Senate, I became like a de facto DG campaign to Senator Abdulaziz Yari. In this very place where we are in Telescope Hilton, Akpabio came to my hotel room around 2 a.m. and pleaded that I should work for him. And I told him that I will not work for you because I'm already committed to Senator Yari. And these are my reasons. However, I wish you good luck. And he came, he said he's a Christian like me, I shall vote for him to balance the Muslim ticket. And I told him, the testimonies I heard from the people of the 8th Senate was not a good one about you. And I told the Vice President when the Vice President called me to work for you, so I will not work for you. And one day they said there was a meeting in room, in floor 4 of Telescope Hilton, and they were dashing out $10,000. I told him I'll not collect the money. Now, after the election, one of these days we were in his house, and we had a lengthy discussion. And he started taking me around the house, and he said, "Do you know that I have a chapel in my house?" I said, "Wow, you have a chapel here." I said, "Let me see." We went and he showed me the chapel. And in the chapel, he told me that, "You know, you are my brother." I said, "Yes." He said, 5 senators will leave the Senate. He said 5. I said, "How did you know?" He said, "I'm the Senate president. I know five senators are leaving." And truth what Akpabio said, 5 of us left.
You had no idea you were one of them.
I was no idea that I was penciled for removal myself. So, when I was in the Senate, I traveled to Kenya on a parliamentary assignment. I spent my own money, about $14,000. I submitted paper for reimbursement. They refused to pay me till this very day. Before I was removed, I already obtained Angolan visa to represent the Senate at the IPU conference in Angola. The practice has been, even if you're not a senator or a member of House of Representatives, as long as you are enough you are representing the country. In fact, former senators or former members of the House of Reps still represent Nigeria until new people come in and inaugurated. He told me back from the airport. That is Akpabio. My salary for that month, I was moved on the 19th by federal government rule of engagement. After 15th, you'll be paid your full salary. My salary, I was moved on the 19th of October. My salary was not paid for that month on the orders of Akpabio. And let me tell you one worst thing that he did. There are 109 senators. Now 5 of us were removed. 2 left. Umahi left to become Minister for Works. Gaidam left to become Minister for Police Affairs. Now making 7 senators left the National Assembly. Out of the 7 senators who left, Akpabio sent their official cars to their houses. Every senator that was removed from the Senate got their own official vehicles, leaving only Senator Abo alone. So the Darlington got his own. The 2 senators from Plateau, the other senator Ohere, the 4 of us removed by the court, they all got their own. And the 2 that left before me, that I screened them to become ministers, because they come for screening, and then I screened them as a senator. They also got their own car. They left before me, yet they got their own car, leaving me out of the 116 senators sworn into the 10th Assembly. Because I challenged Akpabio, I was the only senator that they refused to give him the car. That is the vindictiveness of somebody called Akpabio.
Well, it sounds very personal, doesn't it? I mean,
of course,
for you, it's pretty much personal. I mean, so this is your payback then, is it?
No. I don't pay back. I am just trying to, I laid a foundation so that I will come to the Natasha issue.
Well, we're going to come to that. We're not there yet. Let's finish with your allegations and your accusations against Mr. Akpabio, because one of them is that you said he's running the Senate like a personal empire.
Yes.
Targeting senators who oppose his views, and you suggest that you're one of them.
Yes.
And you say that, as I said, you yourself have been a victim of those actions.
Definitely.
And this is one of the incidents, or one of the sort of the the problems that you're talking about.
Yes, and then let us look at Senator Abdul-Ningi. Senator Abdul-Ningi was the chairman of the Northern Senators Forum, and I was the treasurer of the Northern Senators Forum. So as the treasurer, as a matter of fact, I was slated to become the secretary of the Northern Senators Forum. But because Abdul-Ningi and Senator Abo, we are from the Northeast, and we said, let's take this secretary position to another person from another zone. So I became the treasurer of the Northern Senators Forum. And Abdul-Ningi came out to say, this is not the budget to be passed. And it has been increased by so figures. Before you need Jack Robinson, Senator Abdul-Ningi was suspended from the Senate for 3 months. And let's look at Senator Ndume. Ndume was the digital Akpabio. When Senator Ndume came out to say things are not run properly here, what happened to him? He was removed as the chief whip of the Senate, stripped of his position as the vice chairman Senate Committee on Appropriation, and then be thrown away. What vindictive do you want? And I look at it. The same Akpabio, I moved that motion to amend the rule of the Senate standing rule, that will allow only a senator that have served for at least one term of 4 years in the Senate before he go contest for leadership of the Senate. The amendment look Senate president only. The same Akpabio went and brought in first-time senators and made them leadership of both minority and the majority. Right. Just so that he can control them, so that nobody can say anything to him. Do you know that in Senator Akpabio's house, senators serve him tea?
Well, I don't know.
I am telling you now.
But let me just say.
And I am telling you now. And I told him that you are no longer a governor. These senators are your colleagues. We are not your commissioners. So they cannot serve you tea. So
that kind of emphasizes the point where you say that he's running a personal empire.
He's running a personal empire.
But I mean, some might accuse you of speaking ill. I think you even addressed this yourself, of an institution that elevated you to prominence.
No, I did not say that. And what I said in my interview last time was that I had to speak ill of the institution that brought me to national relevance. And what we are doing today, remember last time I was in this studio where I defended the remunerations of the senators. So that I'm speaking good of the Senate. And what we are doing now, all former senators that have been there since the time of Shagari, we are not happy with the level of the integrity of the Senate that have been washed down. So,
but we're fast running out of time, so I'm going to gallop ahead. I mean, you of course were a member of this current 10th Senate.
Yes.
Until you were removed by the appeals court in October 2023. Very briefly, just tell us how you lost your senatorial seat.
I lost my senatorial seat through judicial banditry, because there's no law that back what happened, and I believe the judge know what she did, and that's why she had to send Senator Ken Inamani to come to my house to come and beg me. And it's true, Ken Inamani is still alive. A situation where a judge said that local government election took place in 5 local governments, and she cancelled election in 2 local governments, differentiate 2 local governments, cancel election in 263 polling units, and not order for election as the law stipulated. That is not the law. That is robbery. That is a coup against democracy.
Right. So you think there was political pressure?
Of course, he was pressured, and I said it time upon time.
Right.
And unfortunately, I partitioned the NJC, and NJC became a body that only punish small judges, magistrate and high court judges, but they cannot punish big judges. And that's why I'm supporting the bill. They should dismantle NJC. They are doing nothing. I have letters from the NJC in my hand. They are doing nothing. And I'm advocating for that same bill in the House of Reps, that the NBA should be the one who will discipline judges by passing a vote of no confidence on erring judges.
Right. Now, you yourself, of course, you're not free of some of this damaging scandal that you talk about. I mean, because you went through a pretty damaging one when you were in the Senate. I mean, didn't you?
Yes.
You were sort of mired in that controversy when you were captured on video, slapping the owner of an adult toy shop.
It's not so.
In Abuja. I'll make the point and then you can refute it. I mean, you turned up there with 3 women to purchase some adult toys, and you were later
the creation
found
of the media.
You were well, I mean, this is what the story that is circulating is.
Yes.
But you're here, you can refute it if you want to. I mean, you were later found guilty by a court, and you were ordered to pay 50 million naira to the shop owner.
No, let me tell you what happened. What happened was that before I became a senator, a situation happened. Before I became a senator, something happened. And it was a case of people fought. Some ladies fought, not in an adult shop, but rather a candy shop that's separated into 2. At this side, they sell candy for birthdays, the cakes, and the rest of it on one side. On the other side, it was an adult shop for women. And I dropped one of my sister with her friend. And when I left, I was told that I received a call that your sister is dead. I said, died? He said, what happened? They said somebody hit her. I thought maybe it was a car that hit her. I said, did the driver stop? They said, the driver did not stop. It's not a driver, it's a person. I rushed back there, and I met a lifeless body who fainted there, assaulted by her fellow person. And it's not the owner of the shop. The person also came there, and they had an issue. What happened was that they called off the video where the real assault took place on my own sister, and I met a conscious sister lying down, and they brought up where matter escalated.
Where you lost your temper.
Yes.
Right.
And we went to court, tried for criminal assault, which is more dangerous than just paying damages here and there or whatever. And we requested for the original video to know what happened, and the judge found me not guilty. However, there's a pressure on government. They want to continue to be taking money from here and there, the rest of it, and they say they are suing for damage. What damage?
Welcome back, my people. So you see why this country will never be better. See this first guy, this sponsor, like the person who they sponsor to like go against Natasha Akpoti. Now him be the first guy where we say na here inside this video. Now don't say normally, but it's all these broke people that are spoiling this country. Because okay, how will a person sponsor you to get against person and you will agree because of money? So damage many things for inside this country. It's money that damage everything. Because we don't even know our right and left because of money. Like all these politicians that we are seeing, they normally use money to confuse people. Even this first guy that is seen on the screen, the first guy that talk, like so even him, we know say okay, normally they sponsor him to do what he does and to do what he did in this video. So all these things they are doing, like they are destroying their own future, because very soon I go know how all these things go turn against them. Even within like youth empowerment, what be so okay Natasha they do for the people of Kogi State. This guy has come out to say again, say okay, the thing with Natasha they do now wrong things. We know say okay, normally na person from Akpabio side na him be this. You know say na sponsor na him they sponsor for everything in do for inside this video. Now people like this, now them seem make this country hard for us now. You will say they hear me now. If you get anything we say you want to talk about this matter big, you drop them for inside comment section. And also if you be your first time, I beg make you like our video, share and subscribe. Thank you.